everybody, we're continuing on with the Pilgrim's Progress. We have Christian and his friend Hopeful, and they are so close to the celestial city. They can kind of see it, but it's so bright that they can't look directly at it because God's glory is there, and it's made of gold and everything valuable. So let's see what they're going to do now because they're so close. Now as they went, they met with two men in white robes, and the face of each shone bright as the light. Okay, so here's the two men. They shine as bright as the light. That's why it looks yellow, because they're in white robes, and all that glory is shining on them. These men said, "From where do you come?" When they had been told, they said, you have but one more thing to do, which is a hard one, and then you will be in Zion. Christian and Hopeful then begged the two men to go with them, which they did. But, said they, it is by your own faith that you must get into the city. Now between them and the gate was a broad and deep river. It had no bridge, and the sight of it made Christian and Hopeful so afraid that they could not move. But the men who went with them said, you cannot come to the gate unless you go through this stream. Is there no way but this one to the gate? Said poor Christian. Yes, they answered, but there have been only two men, Enoch and Elijah, who have gone by that path since the world was made, meaning not dying, went straight to heaven. And only those two have done that. So that's not going to be the case for Christian and Hopeful, and very likely not for us. When Christian and Hopeful looked at the stream once more, they felt their hearts sink with fear. Yet through it lay the way to Zion. Okay, so there's the celestial city, and then here's the stream down here. Is the stream all of one depth? Asked Christian. He was told that it was not, for he would find the stream more or less deep as he had faith in the king of the place. So they set foot on the stream, but Christian gave a loud cry to his good friend Hopeful and said, the waves close around my head and I sink. Then said Hopeful, be of good cheer, my feet feel the bottom of the stream, and it is good. But Christian said, Hopeful, the pains of death have got hold of me. I shall not reach the land that I long for. And with that a cloud came on his sight, so that he could not see. Hopeful had a hard time keeping Christian's head above the water. At times Christian would sink out of sight, and then in a while he would rise up half dead. Then said Hopeful, my friend, all this is sent to see if you will remember all that God has done for you and trust him with all your heart. At these words, Hopeful saw that Christian was in deep thought. So he said to them, be of good cheer. Christ will make thee whole. Then Christian broke out with a loud voice. Oh, I see him. And he speaks to me and says, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. Okay, so here's Christian almost dying in that water, and there is Hopeful trying to help keep him alive. And now they both got strength, and the stream was as still as a stone. Christian felt the bed of it with his feet, and he could walk through it. Thus they got to the right bank, where the two men in bright robes stood waiting for them, and their clothes were left in the stream. Now you must bear in mind that Zion was on a steep hill, yet Christian and Hopeful went up with ease and great speed, for they had these two men to lead them by the arms. The hill stood in the sky, for the base of it was there. So in sweet talk they went up through the air. The bright ones told them of the joy of the place. Words cannot tell enough about it, they said. There you will see the tree of life and eat of the fruits of it. When you come there, said they, white robes will be put on you, and your talk from day to day shall be with the King for all time. There you shall not see such things as you saw on earth, such as worry and hunger and pain and death. You now go to be with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Christian and Hopeful, what will we do there? They said, You will have rest for all your toil, and joy for all your grief. You will reap what you have sown, the fruit of all the tears you shed for the king by the way. In that place you will wear crowns of glory, of gold, and be able to at all times see him who sits on the throne. There you shall serve him with love, with shouts of joy, and with songs of praise. Now where they thus drew near to the gate, lo, a host of saints came to meet them. The two bright ones called to the saints. These are men who felt love for our Lord when they were in the world. They left all for his name, and he sent us to bring them far on their way, that they might go in and look on their Lord with joy. Then with great shouts the whole host came round on all sides as if they wanted to guard them. It seemed to Christian and Hopeful as if all Zion had come down to meet them. Now when Christian and Hopeful went in at the gate, a great change took place. They were given robes that shone like gold. There were bright hosts that came with harps and crowns, and they said to them, Enter ye into the joy of the Lord. And then I hear all the bells in Zion ring. Okay, there's Christian and Hopeful. They made it to the celestial city. You see it all shining on them, and they could hear bells ringing joyously. God has welcomed them into Zion. Now just as the gates were flung back for the men to pass in, I had a sight of Zion. It shone like the sun. The ground was of gold, and those who dwelt there had love in their looks, crowns on their heads, and palms in their hands. With one voice they sent forth shouts of praise. But the gates were now once more shut, and I wished that I too had got in to share this joy. Then I awoke, and lo, it was a dream. So the author was dreaming all of this. I had another dream, this time about Christina, the wife of Christian. Okay, so Christian made it to Zion. What's going to happen with his wife now? Remember, she didn't come with Christian. Neither did her children. She had been on her knees to pray. As she rose, she heard a loud knock at the door. If you come in God's name, said she, come in. Then a man in robes as white as snow threw back the door and said, Peace be to this house. At a sight so new to her, Christina at first grew pale with fear, but in a short time she took heart. Where did you come from, she asked, and what do you want? My name is Secret, he replied. I dwell with those that are on high. Christina, here's a note for thee, which I have brought from Christian. She took it, broke the seal, and read these words, which were in gold. To her who was my dear wife, the king would have you do as I have done, for that was the way to come to his land and dwell with him in joy. Okay, so here's Christina. She's still at the beginning of her faith journey. She hasn't gone on the path that Christian went on yet. When Christina read this, she shed tears. Sir, she said, will you take me and my sons with you? We too want to bow down to this king. He answered gravely, Christina, the bitter is before the sweet. To reach the land where I dwell, you may have to go through troubles as Christian did. Go to the wicket gate, which stands at the head of the way, for there you must begin. I would have thee keep this letter with thee. Read it until thou hast learned it by heart. But thou must give it up at the last gate that leads to the celestial city. Then Christina spoke to her boys and said, My sons, I have been sad lately at the death of Christian, your dear father. But I feel sure now that it is well with him and that he dwells in the land of life and peace. I have too felt deep grief at the thought of my own state and yours. We were wrong to let our hearts grow cold and to turn a deaf ear to your father in his time of trouble. We should have gone with him when he fled from the city of destruction. The thought of these things would kill me if it were not for a dream which I had had last night, and for what a guest who came here at dawn has told me. So come, my dear ones, let us make our way at once to the gate that leads to the celestial city. We will find your father and be there with him and his friends. Then her first two sons burst into tears of joy because of what Christina had told them. Now, while they were getting ready to go, 2 friends of Christina came up to her house and knocked at the door. To them, she said, "If you come in God's name, come in." This mode of speech from the lips of Christina struck them as strange. Yet they came in and said, "Pray, what do you mean by this?" "I mean to leave my home," said she to Mrs. Timorous, for that was the name of one of these friends. Okay, here's Mrs. Timorous. She doesn't seem like she has the fruits of the Spirit in her. Let's find out. Timorous. "Why, pray tell me." Christina. "To go to my dear Christian," and with that she wept. Timorous. "Nay, can it be so? Who or what has brought you to this state of mind?" Christina. "Oh, my friend, if you did but know as much as I do, you would be glad to go with me." Timorous. "What new idea have you got hold of that draws your mind away from your friends and tempts you to go no one knows where?" Christina. "I dreamed last night that I saw Christian. Oh, that my soul were with him now. The prince of the place has sent for me. One came to me at sunrise and brought me this note to tell me to go there. Do read it, I pray." Timorous. "Ah, how mad to run such risk! You have heard, I am sure, from our friend Obstinate, what Christian meant with on the way, for Obstinate and Pliable went on with him until they, like wise men, came back through fear. You heard how he met with the lions and Apollyon. You know what he saw in the valley of the shadow of death. You have heard other things that make my hair stand on end to hear of. Think, too, of these 4 sweet boys who are your own flesh and bone. Though you should be so rash as to wish to go, yet for their sake, I pray you keep at home." Bad advice, by the way. But Christina said, "Tempt me not, my neighbor. These toils and snares that you tell me of shall not keep me back. They only serve to show me that I am in the right. Troubles must first be felt, then joy. So since you came not to my house in God's name, as I said, I pray you to be gone and tempt me no more." Then Timorous said to Mercy, "Let us leave her to her own way, since she scorns all that I say." So here's Mercy. But Mercy thought if her friend Christina must leave, she would go part of the way with her to help her. She took some thought, too, of her own soul. What Christina had said had touched her, and she felt she must have some talk with this friend. If she found that truth and life were in Christina's words, she would join her with all her heart. So Mercy said to Timorous, "I came with you to see Christina. Since she is leaving town on this day, I think the least I can do would be to walk a short way with her to help her on her way." But the rest she kept from Timorous. Timorous said, "Well, I see you have a mind to play the fool too. Listen to me while there is time, and be wise." So Mrs. Timorous went to her own house, and Christina, with her 4 boys and Mercy, went on her way. "Mercy," said Christina, "I am glad that you want to start me on my way." Then said Mercy, for she was a quiet young, "If I thought it would be good to go all the way with you, I would not go back at all to the town." Christina. "Well, Mercy, cast your lot in with mine. I know where our journey will lead us. Christian is where he would not fail to be for all the gold in the mines of Spain. You shall not be sent back, for the king who has sent for me and my boys in one who will not turn away from those who seek him. If you like, I will hire you. You shall go as my maid, and yet shall share all the things with me. But please do go." Mercy. "But how do I know that I shall be let in? If I thought I should have help from him from whom all help comes, I would go at once, no matter how rough the way may be." Christina. "Well, Mercy, I will tell you what I would have you do. Go with me as far as to the wicket gate, and there I will ask. If the keeper of the gate gives you no hope, you can go back to your home." Mercy. "Well, I will go with you, and the Lord grant that I may dwell in the land for which my heart yearns." Christina then felt glad that she had a friend to join her, and that friend should have so great a concern for her soul. So they went on their way. But Mercy looked so sad that Christina said to her, "What ails you? Why do you weep?" Mercy, "Oh, who could but weep to think of all their dear friends that will be left behind in our wicked city." Okay, so here's Christina and Mercy, who is weeping. She doesn't like leaving everybody behind. Christina said, "You feel for your friends as my good Christian did for me when he left me. It saddened him to learn that I did not believe as he did. And now I, and these dear boys follow his path because of his prayers. I hope, Mercy, that these tears of yours will not be shed in vain. For he who could not lie has said that they who sow in tears shall reap in joy." It's getting good, guys. I'll see you in the next video.